Hello, Mr. Sign. I would like to speak to you about something. Can I ask you a favor? Tell me what am I gonna do next, if I were you. Nah, doesn't matter, because the sign billboard does not speak at all, unless there are some text boxes here and there, so I guess that makes it pretty obvious. So, hey, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is I am the one and only Tiana here once again, and I'm back for yet again for the likes of the Mexi Toys videos here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of The Legend of Zelda, Link's Awakening, specifically, Link's Awakening DX for the Game Boy / Game Boy Color. So, last time, we have basically managed to receive the 5th instrument by going through Catfish's Maw for the actual 5th dungeon, and also we did manage able to get ourselves an awesome hook shot, and also we have managed able to finally get ourselves the bow and arrow items, and now we can able to actually use that for later down the road. So anyway, so we've met again with Marin right here, which she seems to able to actually spend a lot of time for you know, the animal village this whole time, which I guess it makes it pretty obvious right there, because obviously we are doing a lot more hard work than ever before, but regardless of everything else though, I think that's as far as I can try to explain about this for the sake of time. So, anyway, so yeah, we'll just go ahead and cut some more grass, and especially noticeable with certain bushes and stuff like that, but usually, relatively speaking, just in case if I was gonna able to grind for more rubies as much as I can. So either way though, because I can assure you that in terms of the forms of the last thing we want to spend on in terms of rubies grinding, that is the fact that we'll pretty much gonna have to save it up for later, because I was originally going to be able to try to do it on the first attempt of this recording session, because mind you, this is my second attempt for this recording session, by the way, because I seemed able to actually just did not get enough rupees to able to actually spend on. So yeah, that's how I'm going to able to actually do things a little bit slightly differently, because, well, as you can tell, that I've basically just almost spent every single rupees after the events of that particular, you know what I mean, the bow and arrow items. So yeah, I guess that makes a pretty obvious sense, huh? So anyways, let's hit in here, and because since we've now got ourselves the hook shot with us, so that means we can now able to actually get that chest as we go. So in this case, we got 50 rupees, so that's not too bad, all things considered. Although, mind you, we still need to be able to collect even more rupees later down the road, just in case for that one last thing we want to purchase. So yeah, I guess that makes it totally obvious sense for the sake of time right here. So anyways, let's go ahead and explore for this mysterious forest a little bit, and grab ourselves the Guardian Acorn once again, and able to actually just try to deal with this, you know, this kind of infinite loop with that music in mind, because it loops about 5 times per minute or something like that, or technically speaking for about 5 seconds or anything else like that. So, and yeah, if you're probably wondering what's up with my cookie throat at the moment, well, because of how the fact that I was eating toast recently, so which I thought was pretty swell for that taste. But regardless of everything else though, we'll just go ahead and continue exploring, and don't worry, I am still fine as it is. So anyway, a few things we want to explain for this point today, and that is the fact that today's date is of course the 27th of September today, in this case in 2022 today. Not much else is going on, I'm afraid, apart from the fact that I was still gonna able to try to mention something more related to you know, gaming news and stuff like that. But I did manage to able to find out just recently that, remember when I mentioned this before about the fact that I wasn't still keen on Mario Kart Tour as much? Well, it turns out that recently we might able to actually get ourselves a some useful updates here and there, which I'll explain more details onto that in a second, because as you can tell, we've actually stumbled across the, well, this particular fellow over here. So I found a good item washed on the beach, and would you like to do the trading thing? So yeah, this is actually the last trading item we can able to trade. So for instance, that's basically he's trying to tell us that if you have something on the B button icon, basically I don't think I can able to give away the, you know, the power bracelet, because that will soft lock the game. So instead, I'm actually going to be choosing the Shuffle because, well, what's the point of able to have Shuffle throughout the majority of the game? So if we accepted this, basically we get ourselves a familiar item from the likes of both The Legend of Zelda and A Link to the Past, which in this case we've naturally got ourselves the Boomerang. So yeah, the Boomerang itself does make a return from the previous games, like I said before, except the fact that it's actually overpowered in this game. Like, not only because of how the fact that, well, relatively speaking, it's all, like, different colored and everything, but, relatively speaking, it doesn't stun enemies anymore because it just managed to slaughter them. Like, almost like every single aspect of it, which is pretty insane if you ask me. Especially notable because, well, relatively speaking though, yeah, that's as far as I can think about it. And I think, fundamentally speaking actually, we have basically concluded every single of those item trading sequence. So because of this though, now we can just simply move along onto the main story for the sake of the forms of dungeon progressioning. And on top of all that stuff though, well, we still need to able to actually grind for more rubies like I said before. For this, I would classify for saying we've only got one song left, but that'll be for later. So in this case though, we've still got plenty of time to do it. So in this case though, we'll just go ahead and leave this area for now on, and yeah, I just want to make sure if I need able to actually just get some more rubies by cutting those bushes and stuff like that, and exponentially speaking, yeah, because if I somehow managed able to accidentally give away the power bracelet to a Boomerang, that'll make everything else impossible. So it's a good thing that always have to choose the Shuffle, because otherwise if you choose any other item, then it'll make things a lot harder and hellish at times. So because there was actually that one time whenever I managed to first got the game on the 3DS eShop version, now I somehow realized about the fact that I accidentally just somehow managed to get rid of my not only Pegasus Boots, but also Rock's Feather or something like that. Then I do not even realize about the fact that, wow, I have to able to actually choose the Shuffle instead of any other items. And even in addition to the Ocarina as well, I think. Well, I don't know what you were able to record that, because it has been about 2 days ago since I actually last played this game, because, oh actually no wait, sorry, 3 days ago as far as I meant to say, because obviously ever since and during the course have been, you know, on Saturday that we've already did manage to done one of those parts of this game, so yeah, I guess that begs the question for the sake of convenience, that is. And also, that it was actually going to go back on to Tuesdays and Thursdays from now on, so but regardless of everything else though, that as I mentioned this before, that we've pretty much almost done with the game. So in this case though, we still got a whole ways to go until we basically done with every single aspect in terms of The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening DX as far as this is concerned. But I digress. So yeah, let's talk about the forms of today's discussion, and that is the fact that, well, first of all, we've only got about, I would say, for about 4 days to go until we basically moved on to the 10th month, which in this case, October. Oh, I should probably also mention about this is the fact that, unfortunately though, until at the beginning of October, specifically in Germany, as far as I'm concerned, oh, speaking of such, here's an owl here. Woot. There are 2 shrines, one on the north and the other to the south. First hit south, where ancient ruins speak of the windfish. You will learn much there. Okay, so basically we need to hit on to the south first, because that's what the owl is trying to say to us we need to hit in down there. So before we get into that though, actually no way, we'll just progress for now on. So anyway, so let's go and use the power bracelet again, so we can able to just once again lift up rocks and stuff like that. And it's just, it can be kind of annoying at times for able to actually constantly need able to, you know, switch between different items and stuff like that. Although thankfully though, on the Switch remake, that thankfully those rocks does not respawn unless if you're able to actually access to those warp spots. So that's something worth classifying for noticing this. So, oh boy, we actually stumbled across this particular section over here. Which, kind of thinking about it though, it kind of reminds me of one of those segments in A Link to the Past, where basically though is the fact that if you go near towards that particular statue stuff, it actually comes alive thanks to the forms of that particular flashing imagery and stuff like that. But either way though, because basically though, all you have to do in this particular part, although you have to be very careful with these guys right here, because, well, not so much these goopy stuff, because they always shows up like nothing else, so at the very least you can deal with these guys no problem. But these guys, whenever you manage to activate them by complete accident, well, if you get hit by these guys, basically it deals so much damage on you. So, yeah, that's why I have to be very cautious around here. Especially I don't want it able to drain too much health. So, especially because again, I'm not gonna get myself rather of a game over for the sake of time. But anyway, let's just go ahead and continue our progressioning there. And this is where we find ourselves this particular secret shrine that we can able to go into. So, yeah, there's not much else to it, apart from the boss fight. So in this case though, here we go, onto the actual boss fight, for the sake of the forms of this particular part of the game. So specifically, we're going to be fighting against with Almost Night, which takes place in ancient ruins. So basically, all you have to do is basically you have to keep on doing sword slashes at him, and that's all you have to do. The only time it's a little bit difficult though is the fact that you have to do a lot of timing when it comes to trying to dodge the earthquake stunning move. So, and from here we go ourselves the face key. So yeah, it's important to know we do need to go in here for its mandatory part. But before we hit into the next dungeon in the game, let's just go ahead and light these up, and sure enough, we stumbled across this particular sculpture here. To the finder, the Isle of Cool It, but it's but an illusion. Human, monster, sea, sky, A. Seen on the lid of a sleeper's eye. Awake, the dreamer, and Cool It will vanish, much like a bubble on a needle. Cast away, you should know the truth. What? Illusion? That could be only be one thing in mind. Even though I do apologize about the fact that I messed up with the actual, the commentary and stuff like that, but I do apologize for that because, well, as I said before, it's been about 3 days ago since we've actually last played this, for sure. But anyway, now we've actually, you know, got ourselves the actual, you know, the base key. So that means we can now able to actually access the next dungeon. So, Root, I see you have read the relief. While it does say the island is but a dream of the windfish, no one is really sure, just as you cannot know if a chest holds treasure until you open it, so you cannot tell if this is a dream until you awaken. The only one who knows for sure is the windfish. Trust your feelings. Someday you will know for sure. Okay. So that's something worth classifying for noticing this. But before we get into the forms within the next dungeon, we need to go backtrack for a bit and then just trying to go past this particular part again. So just in case we do need to able to dodge those particular guys again. So yeah, that's sure it's something. So anyway, so let's go and get some oh, I somehow managed to get another ruby right here, so that should be alright. Sometimes it's all about the waiting segment as far as I can resolve, because, well, again, it's just the fact that if you really want able to refuse to get a game over, then it's probably for the best just trying to able to do not go near to these guys, no matter what. So, and of course, since I somehow obtained the piece of power, so that means we can able to be twice as more devastating than ever. So we can pretty much guarantee we can able to actually deal with these enemies a lot around here. So, oh sweet, another ruby. So that should be pretty swell. Ah, jeez, those ladybug enemies, they can sometimes get on my nerves sometimes. Oh, Jesus Louise. Ah! Although I'm not exactly sure if they were like ladybugs or just like ladybug mushrooms or something. Well, again, it has been, like I said before, 3 days ago since I actually last recorded this. So, especially noticeable because I think, relatively speaking, that until by that time, until specifically this particular week, oh, thank God we actually somehow made it there. So that means I can able to actually, well, get my health back, so that way I can able to not only regenerate my health, but also actually access to a sword beam if I like to. So that should be pretty spectacular though. Well, I'm not exactly sure I was going to explain about this, but hey. Alright, so in this part right here, go to the left because it actually activates the staircase, despite I'm going to be able to take a nerve-wracking part by taking a hit, and then basically I can just simply go in here. So alright, so from here, and it's a good thing we've got the hook shots along with us, so that means we can just go from one place to the other. So much so. And from here, I think this is where the fact that, yep, the next shrine or the next dungeon awaits. Open sesame, I'm telling ya. So anyways, let's go up to the staircase and, well, get started with the next dungeon in the game. So, and I think, relatively speaking, I think we only got one more key left, but that wasn't until whatever we get to later on though, so. Alright, so level 6, Face Shrine. So, this seems kind of interesting. Especially notable because, well, relatively speaking, we've placed the face key onto the actual, the key padlock. Oh god, those wish rolls. Oh god, I did not expect to see those guys returning ever since in, well, the past Zelda games, ever since in Zelda 1, and especially noticeable with A Link to the Past as well. So, yeah, the wish rolls are back, except the fact that, well, oh, are they, these guys appears to be like Shy Guys? Okay, this is getting far too weird at this point. Especially noticeable because, well, first off, we've stumbled across Goombas, Bloopers, and now Shy Guys. Oh, in addition to Chain Jump as well, for the sake of trying to representing the dream-like characters and stuff like that. So yeah, this is kind of interesting. So anyways, I'm going to admit though, I do like the music of this dungeon, but I've got no comment on there, so. And if you're probably wondering, what is up with the forms of that particular elephant sculpture? Well, that will be for later, because obviously we need to take care of the forms of other things first, such as for instance, like traversing through different rooms, and anything else to be more specific, so yeah, I guess that's not much else elsewhere to do for this point. And from here we can able to actually access to, oh god, that particular eye gooby thing is actually causing a lot of seizures at the moment, so yeah, I do apologize for that, folks, especially noticeable because I honestly blame on the emulation for its, yeah, just look away from those, little weird goopy, thing as far as they, well, I don't know what you're able to call it that because, well, I do apologize for my commentary because it's a little bit iffy at points today because there's not much else I can say, so. And I think, fundamentally speaking, I'm not exactly sure, I think this might be, oh, okay, so if you try to use the boomerang with the wrist row, basically you can able to stun them, so, yeah, I guess that might actually be handy though, although that's, I honestly have no worst able to think about it. So, instead of using the boomerang or, the swords for that matter though, I think I should probably able to use the bow and arrow instead, so that way it can deal some bit of damage in here, so, and I think, fundamentally speaking, if I recall correctly, that I don't think that this game does not include the light arrow for the sake of the forms of, in comparison to the previous games, because, for instance, only forms of in, well, you know what I mean, The Legend of Zelda 1, and especially noticeable with, well, Zelda A Link to the Past, basically though is the fact that, well, you get the light arrows until you finish the game, so. Anyways, as you can see on that particular treasure chest, as far as we've opened it up, basically, we've now got ourselves the upgraded version of the Power Bracelet, which basically, it kind of functions the same way as the forms of how it does it from before with the regular Power Bracelet, except we can now lift up heavy stuff, to be more specifically, the elephant sculpture statues, which is pretty swell, I have to say. Especially noticeable because, well, relatively speaking, you do need to be able to get that upgrade for the Power Bracelet as much as you can, until God knows if something else will happen, so... Anyway, so let's just go ahead and get ourselves even more rupees, specifically 100, so... I would have guaranteed that we might able to actually get ourselves about, well, let's just say, 300 rupees or something. Oh, sweet, we got ourselves another 50 rupees right here. That's actually pretty swell. Although I highly doubt that I probably won't be able to actually... Oh yeah, something's worth mentioning, that since we still got ourselves a boomerang with us, well, remember with these particular weird, disc, little enemies that, well, as you saw one, recently, that's, the reason why I've somehow ignored it for some reason. Well, I should probably save that, topic until when it gets to later on. So, anyways, let's go ahead and place one of the bombs over here, and, oh jeez, I hate the fact that, every time, whenever I was gonna go off-screen, and then basically there's the fact that I somehow did not get the bomb explosion until it activates certain switches, so... Oh god, I remember these parts. Whenever I first got there, from the sake of the forms within the 3DS Virtual Console re-release of this game, I can never for the life of me try to deal with those horse heads with all that, it feels like a chess kind of vibe to it, but I think we should probably get into more details onto that though until whenever we get to that specific segment, so... Although I have no idea why I placed the bomb right here, but I meant to able to, like, you know, equip the Power Bracelet, so just in case I can able to lift up pots and eventually just try to able to reveal something, like a switch. So that way we can able to progress, and, yeah, I think we'll try to able to just, go ahead and, actually, no way, will bombs will work? Although, that, you got able to get a lot of faster movements on, okay. I guess Wrist Rose also deals that with the actual bombs too, so, yeah, that's, pretty handy. Especially noticeable if you think you're almost running out of, arrows here and there, then basically that'll be your, chance that you could able to actually just, well, potentially trying to able to get rid of those Wrist Rose very easily, so... But sometimes these enemies can be quite difficult to deal with sometimes, especially noticeable that just like in, you know, Zelda 1, and especially noticeable with, A Link to the Past, that, basically, though, they just love to teleport all over the place, so... There we go, we've now got a map, and, yeah, everything else goes all fine and dandy and everything, so... And I believe the map itself is almost like a shape like a face, so... Yeah, I guess that makes sense, because obviously this dungeon is called, you know, Face Shrine. So, yeah, we can pretty much expect how this is going. So, anyways, let's go and continue. And, do I need, more health at the moment? Nah, I guess not. Although, relatively speaking though, that I get this strong sense of feeling that, there might be a boss fight coming up or something like that, so... Anyways, here's the stone beak, which gives you hints and tips, but I don't think I can honestly try to do that for the sake of time, because... Well, I'm sure I'll try my best to able to figure out the actual stuff all by my own, so... Yeah, wish me luck on certain scenarios, so... Alright, so we'll just equip the Power Bracelet again. So, yeah, we can able to actually see some more items inside, and, oh, we can able to grab some more bombs, and able to toss that pot right onto that specific door, so just in case we can able to actually progress, so... Alright, so... Oh, goodness gracious, that was close. And we got the compass, too, so, that way we can see where the chests are, especially noticeable where the Nightmare Key was located, so... Yeah, everything else goes all fine, and dandy and everything, so... Alright, so we'll just grab some more bombs, just in case if we do need able to save off some bombs for later, so, yeah, that should be fine, I guess, so... Alright, so... Oh, what do we have here? So, if I recall correctly... Oh, there's some wish rolls. Yeah, wish rolls approaching, so... But thankfully we did manage to use the magic powder on this particular disc goal thing right here. And, oh sweet, we got a fairy. Mind you about the fact that I'm pretty much almost full up in terms of heart containers, so... But that's okay, because either way though, I got my full health regenerated, so... That should be good. So yeah, best strategy for this is just stun them as a boomerang and then use the bombs to able to finish them off completely, so... Too easy, piece of cake. Especially noticeable because, well... So far so good anyway, so... Alright, so we'll just equip our sword again, and just to see what's gonna be up next in terms of, well, anything else for this resides. So yeah, basically, actually kind of think about it, we need to equip the power bracelet again, so we can just smash that door, and, oh god, this is the part I was gonna be on about. But first off, 100 rubies, so, nicely done. And I think we actually got enough, and also we get ourselves 20 more rubies, and that was actually the exact same location as that, the River Rapid minigame as we played, so that's pretty swell. So anyways, here we go onto this infamous part of this particular dungeon, and that's what appears to be the, well, these horse heads, chest parts. So basically, you guys are able to stand them up just like that, and basically that's all you have to do for the sake of the forms of the majority of this particular, dungeon, segments. So, yeah, it's a bit annoying sometimes, especially noticeable because if you think you're trying to able to actually succeed by these parts, but most of the time they just all sometimes feels a bit luck-based at times for the sake of likely either standing up straight or sometimes they just tumble over like nothing else. So yeah, that might be the only downside about this particular dungeon to me though, because well sometimes you never know until you're able to actually just try to succeed on these parts. So, and believe me, what I'm saying is about the fact that this is by far the longest video we've ever done by this point, because as far as like I said before, if we're about to get stuck on the forms of that stupid chest part with all that horse heads and stuff, basically though is the fact that it'll spend me about so many minutes, or even a couple of hours sometimes. Well, nowhere near as that much hours, but it's just the fact that it's just annoying sometimes if you're trying to able to proceed, and then next thing you know you're about to get stuck by several minutes, so... But anyway, we deal with those whiz rolls here, and quickly activate the switch, so just in case, and yeah, we can pretty much oh jeez, I honestly have no idea what I was doing. Although mind you, it has been a very long while since I actually know about this layout, so it's just that sometimes though, because well, I just got no words to think about it. Alright, so let's just say if we okay, that's not right. How do I do this though? Because I know for the fact that during the forms of in let's just say in A Link to the Past or something like that, then basically I somehow managed to pick up the bomb and then just, well, I just got no words to think about it. But then again though, until at some point, until likely on Thursday, then I should able to actually mention more details onto that though. But for the time being, while this is going to be happening, recently we've got ourselves some more info for the sake of the forms of based off of Mario Kart Tour. That is going to be a new update coming until next month. So this should be exciting. Well, despite the fact that I'm still not overly keen on the game that much. But regardless of such though, some interesting news is about to happen for the sake of the couple of days time until October. For instance, there is going to be a new mode that's going to be added in after 3 years since when it does not included that. And that's what appears to be the longer awaited battle mode. So yeah, battle mode is going to be make its return ever since in the past Mario Kart games. So yeah, about time actually. Especially noticeable, I don't know exactly sure what the battle mode is going to play like. Although, if I recall correctly, it might play out kind of like the regular Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U, where basically you have to do it on racetracks or something. or battle tracks for that matter, but we'll see what happens until that particular battle mode exists. So, anyway, so, yeah, let's just go ahead and progress, and, oh yeah, if this particular part looks familiar. Well, yes, it appears to be those specific title section, which, yeah, if you're following from the likes of A Link to the Past playthrough, basically, I highly suggest you're able to equip the shield, and then basically just, well, stand onto any of those corners, and you should be good to go. And that way, you can able to actually be safe from that segment, so... pretty swell, I have to say. Anyway, so let's progress here, and of course we need to able to use those elephant statues to progress, and it feels like we've almost done with this dungeon, although sometimes though that it can be felt a bit, oh god, another selections of wish rows to deal with. But this time we have to deal with 4 of these things. Okay, so at the very least we managed to deal with 1 of them, so actually kind of thinking about it, we deal with 2, which is pretty insane. Although I would have loved to able to actually just do like, dang it. Sometimes you have to be so accurate with all that timing to place your bomb somewhere, but that way, it deals a lot of damage for wish rolls, so that should be pretty swell. Alright, so I think we should probably fetch some more arrows, just in case until for later, and equip the another power bracelet for the sake of time. As you can see right there, since we've somehow managed able to equip the boomerang with us, if you deal with that particular spark-like enemy as far as we already did, basically, it actually unleashes a fairy. So, yeah, pretty worth noting for if you really want able to survive for the majority of the game, which, basically, if you're having a hard time trying to deal with the game so far, basically, I highly recommend you able to equip the boomerang item, and in that way, if you're able to stumble across the spark-like enemy, as we've already saw, basically just use the boomerang onto that enemy, and it should able to get the fairy out, and that way, you can able to restore your health in almost instant. So, always unlike any forms of how it does it on the remake, though, then you can able to actually catch the fairies with the actual, like, that specific special item as far as I'm concerned. So, anyway, so enough about that, and let's just go ahead and go down, and hopefully we can able to actually just to sort something out for the sake of time. Although, thankfully there's a pot over there that basically we can able to actually get out of this particular room if we're about to get stuck. Although, if you accidentally just toss it onto the actual wall as I just did, oh wait a second, I have to deal with the enemy right here, so, but thankfully we've got the sword beam, so that should be good to go, so... yeah, it looks like I do need to activate one of those switches first, so... oh boy. Sometimes it can be felt a bit time-consuming sometimes, but regardless of everything else though, it looks like we're doing pretty okay so far for this particular dungeon. Although, it wasn't until whenever we get to the point until the final 2 dungeons in the game that I will say that the final 2 dungeons are by far the most tedious dungeons in the game. Because, obviously, not only does it will contain more floors, or just anything else to be more specific, but also requires you to do up a lot of too much things to do. So, like, seriously, it just goes like non-stop and stuff. So anyways, let's get to the actual continuation of this conversation about Mario Kart Tour's upcoming update in regards of the forms of the battle mode. I'm pretty sure it plays out exactly like the past games, like you still need to able to pop your opponents' balloons in order to able to win a mode, and basically not only does it function as in single player, but also multiplayer itself as well. And also certain game modes like Standard Race and Gold Race will be combined, and the Gold Race will only be available for subscribers of the Mario Kart Tour Gold Pass will be removed. So, yeah, I have no idea why I was a little bit confused at first, but I'm sure that we will find out some more details onto that though until when the actual update finally comes out. So, either way though, we can pretty much expect at that point. And, as far as shopping, as far as this is concerned, they actually decided able to add it in a new Spotlight shop, which basically where you can purchase drivers, carts, and gliders featured in a tour using rubies this time. And guess what, folks? In terms of the forms of that, you know what that stupid gotcha moments, as we've always complained about in the past? Although I apologize for that particular door noise you'll be hearing, because I'm guessing I've heard that, I can assure you that, Sonic is having a bit of a raging moment with Shadow recently. So, either way though, I'm sure he'll be alright, so... Anyway, so... Oh, okay. Yeah, there we go. Problem solved. Especially noticeable, jumping with platforming is so insufficient. And from here, we get ourselves a secret medicine. And basically what this means, think of like, the actual, like, fairies in the past Zelda games, I'm pretty sure. Basically, though, is the fact that, oh, and same applies to the, Zelda 1, where basically, I believe if you somehow managed able to run out of health, basically you're able to revive yourself again. So, yeah, I think that's as far as I can try to explain about that particular item. So, anyways, let's go ahead and continue our progressioning there. And, eventually, that we will be able to actually just to, like, hopefully we should be able to actually get this dungeon done. So, anyway, yeah, in addition about the fact that with new drivers and carts and gliders, as well as drivers and gliders that have appeared in the past will be available. So yeah, that should be pretty handy if you having a hard time trying to get that specific character you do really want throughout the majority of the game, because obviously with that stupid gotcha moment. But regardless of such though, we'll explain more details in a second, because here we have another mini boss fight, which appears to be by the forms of Rufa, I think that's what it says anyway. So basically, all you have to do is basically we always have to equip the power bracelet with us at all times. And basically, you have to pick up this heavy ball and then able to actually toss it back at him. And that deals the damage. Although, how to admit it the right way, this boss fight is a little bit difficult in this version. Probably because you have to be so specific with that hit detection. And on top of all that stuff though, if he dares toss the ball at us, it deals a massive amount of damage, and you have to be very careful with the actual ball of what he was tossing at you. So, and every once in a while, if you do enough hits on him, then you should be good to go. So, yeah, definitely a little bit tricky mini boss fight in Fury. Well, as long as about the fact that you don't get screwed over by the forms of so many scenarios. So, anyway, so now we're done with that, and yeah, of course you can able to go back if you wanted to, but let's not get ahead of ourselves, because either way, let's go into this 2D section, and hopefully we can able to avoid so many spikes. So yeah, for the most part, I think we actually did the pretty alright and stuff like that so far. So yeah, I guess that makes it pretty obvious there. Then of course we got some more spinning tiles to able to actually just try to defend ourselves with it. So oh yeah, let's get back into this discussion. That pipe you can fire by using rubies. I think, suffice to say, using rubies on pipes will be removed. And I was like, well, about time, I guess. But it's just the fact that sometimes that the gotcha moments might still exist for only 2 factors or something like that. Although, mind you, about the fact that, well, I think I should probably save that more conversations onto that until whenever we get to the later parts of the playthrough. But anyway, so now we've actually gone back into this particular floor over there, and oh boy, we have to deal with this again. Especially, it's bad enough about the fact that we always have to do this, especially noticeable for progressioning. So yeah, this is kind of feels a lot more luck based. So oh, this could take a while. Oh, come on. And not only that, you have to do it with 2 exact attempts. But not only do you have to do it for that particular time, but you have to do it again until you decide able to backtrack for a bit. So yeah, it's a bit of annoying sometimes. Alright, so let's just use the Pegasus Boots over here to able to dodge those flumps rather. But this time with only 1 eye and stuff like that. And oh yeah, remember these enemies right here ever since the beginning of the game? Well, basically they are back again, so yeah, and hopefully we can able to blow them up with bombs, so much so. There we go, now I can able to actually just pick up the bombs like something like that, so. Although I could probably be able to actually use Marin's Ocarina song as much as I want. So that way I can able to actually just kill them like so. Because that way it'll work. Alright, so thankfully there's bombs over there we can able to pick up. Oh, speaking of bombs, we'll save that mini boss for later. So, actually, yeah, we'll save these guys for later, so... Because obviously I need to aim for that treasure chest that's usually up ahead. So, hopefully I would able to deal with that, so... another thing I would able to classify for noticing this is the fact that, the actual benefits that applied to some drivers, carts, and gliders who appeared in the pipes, you could fire by using rubies that boosted them, so the second and third course of all cups during the tour are favored courses will be removed. So, I guess that's a thing, and, I suppose that's pretty much just about it, especially noticeable where I'm actually honestly very glad about the fact that there's no gotcha moments or something like that in the upcoming update. Although, the only thing it's kind of missing though is, of course, you know exactly what I'm about to say, is adding the control support, which I'm not exactly sure if I was trying to explain about this because, well, it's been about quite a few days since I actually complain about this for the sake of like few minutes worth noting for, but still, it just bears repeating for almost like instant, so... Anyway, so now we've got ourselves some more rubies, so yeah, that should be good to go. And now we can able to actually deal with, well, the actual rematch against with the forms of that familiar boss fight ever since in, I will classify for saying, ever since in Key Cavern. So, in this case, that will be belongs to the forms of Dodongo snakes. So, yeah, that might be something worth noting for this entire mentioning for that stuff. But anyway, so let's just go ahead and use the Pegasus Boots again, and just trying to able to actually go for that particular forms again. And I get the feeling, yeah, we have to able to do this again. So yeah, it's a bit of annoying, especially noticeable about the fact that, oh, I somehow have done this for the first attempt. So nice. Ah, these little like disco like spiky little stuff. Alright, so I think we should probably defend ourselves for the sake of time. But yeah, I think that's as far as I can try to explain about this for the most part, so at the very least I'm very, very, very grateful with all that. You know, the actual next Mario Kart Tour update is going to be up, but it might be still felt a bit inconsistent sometimes on my favor, because, well, I've still gained myself a massive screwage own, you know what I mean, with all that massive screwage for the sake of the forms of getting owned by items and stuff like that, but that's just me. Oh god, we're going back into this again, aren't we? Can you see what I mean about the fact that this video is very, very lengthy at this point, just because of this stupid segment right here? Because again, it's very, very luck-based, so... Like, it doesn't matter if what you're trying to throw it at, and it's just the fact that you always have to judge the actual, the landing department for the actual, like, horsehead chest parts. And you have to do this a lot of trial and error, and it's just tedious. But thankfully we did manage to pass that, luckily, so, anyway, so let's just go ahead and, get ourselves our Pegasus Boots here, so we can just once again dash over for those thwomps. But with a singular eye, and thus they're a lot smaller. Of course, we have to deal with these guys again, so... Time to bring up the ocarina, and play, Marin's song. And that way, he'll deal with them all at once. Alright, so let's go and equip the bombs, so we can able to take care of the forms of the Dodongo snakes again. Except this time, there's now bottomless pits with it too, so yeah, exponentially we'll do need able to complete this room until we've progressed, and exponentially we can able to get ourselves, I would say the Nightmare Key or something like that, so at least hopefully we can able to get this dungeon finished. So this is where the point where the dungeon's length is actually gonna get a little bit lengthy. But regardless of such though, I think this might not take me that much long, I guess. Although the only time is a little bit stingy long though, when it comes to the forms of this particular dungeon itself, is of course the actual horsehead chest parts. So, because as I said, they're very, very luck based though. Alright, so we'll just go ahead and use the hook shot, so that way we need to unlock this particular key lock over there. And yeah, we've seen that part already. And this is where the point where basically we do need to like use the power bracelet from here. And exponentially we can able to actually just go ahead and activate that switch somehow. And from here we get ourselves the Nightmares key. So now we can able to actually participate to take on, well, the next boss in the game. So yeah, pretty much we're almost done with this point, guys. But relatively speaking though, I do apologize about the fact that not only does my commentary get a little bit rusty sometimes, but also about the fact that how lengthy this dungeon can be sometimes. Especially noticeable because, well, like I said before, with that particular horsehead chest part, it's always going to be the most pace-breaking part of the dungeon, so... Okay, so that's okay from that particular part. Nice. At least the wish rolls aren't that much to deal with, I guess. I mean, surely that's something, I guess. Alright, so let's see what's up here, and hopefully... Oh, some more rubies too. Huh. Alright, so I think I get the strong sense of feeling that, relatively speaking, I suppose we can able to actually go downstairs and stuff. Oh god, I almost get hit by that singular Goomba. And also with that spikes themselves too. But anyway, let's just go ahead and climb those ladders again. And hopefully we're able to ignore that for now. And oh god, there's that little thing right here ever since in Key Cavern. Now I get the strong sense of feeling I do need to deal with those enemies, so such as these little slime-like enemies, and oh, okay. I guess I should probably continue things on, huh? Alright, so we're almost there, guys, so we just need to go through... Oh god, we got ourselves the not only Wish Rose, but also Beanos as well, so yeah, that's something we definitely need to avoid. I feel like I'm missing something here. Actually, no, wait. Do I have to, like... I have no idea what I'm doing. Oh, wait. I have to able to push that thing over. Okay, I see where to get the gist of it. Although, I do need to deal with that wish roll first, so... Oh, boy. How am I gonna do this? Ah! It's bad enough that Beano just somehow... Oh, okay. I guess that works. Alright, just push him off to the bottomless pit, and, well, there goes that. Alright, so, oh god, I did not notice that I equipped the wrong item, so, whoops. So, thankfully, Burrang will help me out, so that should be good. So, alright, time to use the power bracelet, so I can able to... Oh, it doesn't do anything. Okay, that seems a bit worthless. So, anyways, let's get to take care of the next boss in the game, and this what appears to be... What the heck is up with this thing? Hey, dummy, need a hint? My weak point is... Whoops, there I go. Talking too much again. So basically, this guy's name is Face Aid. And basically, all you have to do in this boss fight is that you have to use bombs in this boss fight. And basically, if you place those bombs in certain spots, usually in his face himself, basically that deals the damage. And I'm gonna say, this is a pretty cool boss fight, I'm not gonna lie. Because not only it brings us to the challenge by able to constantly bring us ourselves so many tiles at us, but also is the fact that it gets a little bit more hectic in every way. Oh god, they're now bringing us some holes to be able to actually avoid. But regardless of such though, it's a pretty easy boss fight, so okay, listen up. If the windfish wakes up, everything on this island will be gone forever. And I do mean everything. So there goes Face Aid, and not only do we get ourselves the next heart container, so we're now on to 11 of those heart containers, but also we've got ourselves the 6th instrument, which is Coral Triangle. Because it's a triangle instrument. And I think, fundamentally speaking, we only got 2 more instruments left until we basically get our chance to able to awaken the windfish. Mountain. Something calls from the mountains. Okay, thanks for the hint right there. So I'm afraid we got the endings of this point right here, so join me next time for more of Let's Play of The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening DX. That is the fact that we'll head over to the 7th dungeon, so this will be interesting, especially noticeable that we're almost done with the game, so I'll see you guys on Thursday. Later, fellas.